here we are to another version, another theme, another day, another episode of 15 Minutes of Fame. And today with me is the one, the only, the very famous in a lot of people's worlds, Christy Nicolay. And Christy, you're here on the 15 Minutes of Fame today because you are an event specialist on high. You have been around, you have seen this world, and I'm very excited to have your input and thoughts about what you do for a living and how the world is today after about 2 weeks of hardcore lockdown of coronavirus, and the versions of what Christy Nicolay and her company will be doing hereafter the waves have settled. So, world, Christy Nicolay, go ahead.
Hey, how are you? First of all, I love your specialty lighting behind you.
Oh, thank you. It's very fine LED stuff.
LED lights, yeah, very fancy. Yeah, no, I'm good. Just hanging out here at the homestead, which is super rare, really awesome, but super strange not to be going anywhere for a while. I think it's been. The last time I was really with work people was Friday, March 13th.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we officially were finished. I was just kicking off the BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells, which is one of the tennis tournaments that we do every year.
And when you say what company do you work for?
Yeah, so I'm working for Van Wagner. We're kind of Van Wagner Sports and Entertainment, but we've gone back to just Van Wagner Productions. They're a company that used to be, a division of them used to be Big Screen Network, which is the company that I've worked with and hired since Salt Lake 2002 Olympic Winter Games.
And that was like digital marketing, things like this.
They did all of the content for the big screens, so all video production. And then they sold right after right around the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, where we had just done, I think, 7 out of 9 Olympic Games together. They sold to Van Wagner Group, which is based in New York. And then as soon as I finished Rio, I also started working for them. So now I get to work with all the people that I used to work with separately, but now I work for them. And it's been since November 2016 already. So it's been great. We do all sports all the time, everything from the Super Bowl to I don't get to do the Super Bowl because there's other people better at football than me, but we do Super Bowl, Olympic Games, Kentucky Derby, US Open of tennis, March Madness, NHL, like all sports.
Right. And so for anybody who's watching who kind of maybe is still like, well, I wonder, what does she mean by what we do? Think of the main frame, the hub, the big 52-foot rigs that pull in, that have all the TV station stuff with the cameras, the lights, the action. That is, Christy is managing all of that aspect right there. So, and that's huge. I mean, that's like, for what people are seeing on TV, you are responsible for a lot of those movements wrap it up into a basket.
We like to say we capture the atmosphere we create the atmosphere that broadcast captures and sends around the world. So really, my company does a lot of different areas, from sponsorship sales to naming rights to all different areas. And my focus generally is sport presentation, or what we would call live event production. So I like to call it's all the fun stuff,
Yeah, and that's how we know each other, by working live show. I got to work with you at the 2002, pardon me, geez, time flies, 2020 Winter Youth Olympics, and over there in Switzerland. And so the experiences that you're helping build for the guest, be it a big screen, a live show, the entire production, this is your world. So what do you do when it comes to business like this? I've talked to a lot of independent contractors who have much smaller clients, not Super Bowls, not Olympics, things like this, where they're having to write letters to their client, being like, hey, I hope you're doing good today. Can I send you a basket of oranges, something like that. Your clients are worldwide stages. What do you do with a client in a time like this when you're like, okay, cool. So last month I was going to Tokyo this year or something like that. And now it's being pushed off into a different schedule. We've seen this happen before with 9/11. With 9/11, we now have the Super Bowl in February, where it once was in January, and that world event changed how and when we watch the Super Bowl. The question to you, and I think that you're the person to ask this, is what sports do you think could maybe indefinitely change because of this? Or are we just going to shift, like with the Tokyo Olympics just being put off a year?
Yeah.
What does this do? What happens to the landscape of sport?
I mean, my personal opinion is that 2021 is going to be ridiculously busy. Like I'm looking at this like this is like, hey, take a breath. Let's get everything in order. Let's get organized. Let's catch up. Let's, keep our communication going and everyone just be ready because obviously, yeah, Tokyo shifted a whole year. Looks like the Dubai Expo, which is, not a sport event for us, but that we could potentially be involved in, is probably shifting a whole year. But everything is impacting other things that we do. So, the World Games in Birmingham may go a whole year or may go earlier. We just don't know yet. I mean, it's all going to be up to all the different international federations, like all kind of have to decide. But I think, Tokyo is obviously the biggest. It's making the biggest impact on all the other events around the world. But I think that things are going to kind of just move around and settle into place. And I think it's going to be, I'm optimistic, that, I don't know, September, we're super, super busy and it's going to, I think we're all going to be grateful for the break that we're having now, because I think when the industry comes back, I think it's going to come back hard, it's going to come back.
Yeah, I would agree because obviously, topical ideas, people are ready to get out of the house. There's going to be a lot of energy out there. There's going to be a lot of people being like, okay, I'm ready. Let's throw 10 Olympics if we have to.
Yeah, for sure. So, I know some things are getting delayed, some things are getting canceled, but I think that there's enough stuff that's being delayed that's going to kind of push into 2021 is, I think it's going to be, I think it's busy.
So schedules obviously are being twisted up a little bit. Like as a matter of fact, I'm wearing a jacket of one. This is known as the GoPro Mountain Games. It happens up in Vail. And the discussion is now pushing it back into August. And I thought about it. And I said, okay, that's fine. Obviously it overbooked on another gig that I have. I won't speak about that right now. But the other thing is too, is, and I'm not throwing any shade or whatever, but this event started 17, 18 years ago as a kayaking event.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know much about kayaking in Colorado, there's no kayaking in August. You can go pedal around in the river, but the downriver rush, which is the melt of the snow season coming down the streams, which is why we have it in June, because the rivers are just running at that point, right? And now we've really got a contest. This is going to change the dynamic of that sport a lot, right? So I don't know if the Olympics are going to have any of that phase, because everything is so self-contained and everything, ice rinks are going to be inside and outdoor arenas are going to be outdoor arenas.
Yeah. No, I'm fairly certain this is a one-off. I'm, already working on Beijing 2022. Mm-hmm. They are right on schedule with everything. There was a little bit of a, not a fear, but a little bit of, oh, hey, wait, our Tokyo 2020 test event's going to overlap with Beijing 2022 test events. But it looks like I'm still actually kind of going through that schedule, but it does look like everything's going to be fine there. Tokyo had almost all of their test events already. Cool. So of course the athletes don't cross over, but us in the industry, producers, announcers, music directors, video directors, all of them, could have the potential of things like overlapping. But it looks like as far as Tokyo 2020 and Beijing 2022, which still calling it Tokyo 2020, even though it's going to be in 2021.
Right. Fair enough. We're all trained to say it correctly, right?
But it looks like that stuff's going to be okay. And I think that, everyone's going to do their due diligence. Federations are going to look and see like what's best, for their athletes. And I think it's gonna shake out. I just think I think everyone should enjoy the rest. Everyone in our industry right now should enjoy the time they have at home. because I think their frequent flyer miles are going to kick back in soon enough, in
Yeah.
my personal opinion.
Yeah,
Anyway.
no, that's a really good piece of advice too. And I think, after speaking with some people that I know you and I have worked with together, like the Brad J, and not the Brad J, he's actually a human, Brad J,
Okay.
the Brad J, right?
Bad day.
Right. And Naka, I think, and it's a congruent statement, and we speak more. And Kim Wysocki is that, we're seeing that in this time, we're taking those moments to enjoy the downtime. You just before this conversation said, hey, look out my back window. The golf course is closed. So it's allowing people to kind of just walk and discover parts that you normally would just kind of stay away from because golf balls could be coming at your head.
Yeah.
Which is really, it is amazing to see people like yourself, myself, and other eventers who, we're going. And that's the pace we live at, right? We enjoy that. Like to sit at home for, 2-3 weeks at a time would feel like I've just completely missed out on life, right?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I feel like I miss something, like, and I go, oh no, wait, nobody else is doing anything either,
Right.
So, and it's really strange to think about that, it's not just the US or North America or California, it's like really worldwide. So it's not like things are happening in, Abu Dhabi and we just can't get there. It's
Right.
like things aren't happening. So,
Right.
we're really, it's yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a forced, vacation. I know it's, of course not good for our industry or for the economy or any of that, but I think there definitely are positive aspects of this that we can look at that are,
What will Van Wagner's hope be coming out of this? Like, it's May 1st, people are getting back to work, things like this. What will Van Wagner hope to see?
Well, we hope to see everyone's super busy. I mean, I just had a call with my boss actually to talk about things that we do have coming up. We produce the NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really talk about that, but you're probably going to be seeing the NFL draft done in a way that's never been done before. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, but it's, I mean, we were talking about, okay, well, what if this sticks to schedule and this changes and this changes? And then we talked about like, oh no, what if, this event that we do over here conflicts with this? And we're like, hey, if we're, if we're all overbooked and overlap and we can put our entire team and, not just our entire in-house team, back to work, but as well as like all of our freelancers around the world. I mean, we have people like in every region of the world that we would, love to be able to put to work. So I think that's definitely, our hope. So
that's awesome. Okay, so check this out. We got a little bit more than a minute to go.
Oh, okay.
It flies by. I know we could do this for hours. It goes like this. So Van Wagner being the production company, who looks for Van Wagner? Who wants to hire Van Wagner?
Oh, well, just if you want to hire Van Wagner, just go to vanwagner.com, or you can, we have a great business development team, or you can hit me up and just see Nicolay at vanwagner.com if it's, something involving sport presentation, or if not, I can put you in touch with our other divisions. But yeah, I'm all about the live show, live event, sport presentation, especially international. My area is worldwide events. So yeah, we're ready when everyone else is ready. And I just had a call with Beijing 2022 the other day, and they were talking about, oh, when can we see, when can we be face to face again? And said, well, when we're allowed to fly, we will fly. So yeah, we're ready.
Awesome. Okay, Christy, so great to catch up with you. I hope that you're having all of the relaxing over there in California and Palm Springs. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, after all these interviews that I've had, be it associates that we both know or ones that we don't, the energy is definitely building up. The energy banks, the battery storage tanks, they're filling up again. People will have that energy to come back to work. And I think a person in your role, being a director and a manager of all things considered, that it's going to be pretty nice coming back to work because you don't have to pull strings. Those emails, you're going to send one, it's going to be back to you in 30 seconds. I'm ready.
No, you're ready for sure. No. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, Christy, thank you so much. Again, Christy Nicolay of Van Wagner. And if you want to have any interest in live show production of all things considered, cameras or on-site, this human being is the one to get with.
Thanks, Goldie.